What is up, you sexy mother Hubbards? It's time for an alternative paper review. First up, to The Telegraph, who've given an opinion piece to Nick Timothy, who's saying Starmer's spending plans would drive Britain to the brink of disaster. Would they, though? That is the question, because the Tories are giving away a £9 billion NI tax cut. They're also talking about sacking off inheritance tax. That would be another £7 billion. Of course, both of those are on top of the £100 billion the Tories have spaffed up the wall over the last 4 years. That's £25 billion for every year since the last general election. That's £25 billion each year that could have been apportioned to finishing HS2, or sorting out the public sector, getting rid of strikes, or better still, paying down the national debt so you don't have to hike taxes to pay the interest, thereby nipping it in the bud. Like, you wouldn't have to drop the NI or the income tax or anything, because it would already be low. Anyway, it's always a joy to see the Telegraph take Nick Timothy seriously, especially when he's talking about trying to avoid disasters. Disasters like the 2017 general election, when he was chief of staff for one Theresa May, when Timothy's political news and strategy cleverly cost her parliamentary majority. Like, it really is a question for the ages. How does a high-ranking Conservative, Theresa May's right-hand man, construct a campaign so bad that they have to sling a few billion in magic money to the DUP just to be able to form a government? So yeah, I don't know what the polls were saying back then. I don't know how bad the granny tax stuff was and Theresa May's P45 in that speech. I remember that whole campaign was pretty bad. But I don't think, anyway, like, if we just move that to the side for a second, I just don't know if Nick Timothy is in any position to tell anybody about what may or may not help you to avoid a disaster. Meanwhile, over to the Mail, who suggests that only the Tories can deliver us a brighter future. What's that old adage? You know, that old saying, like, the best predictor for the future is to look back at the past, because people's behaviour and conduct and personalities very rarely change. Well, cast your mind back over the last 13 years. Has your future felt any brighter at any point over that period? I mean, they're obviously going into election campaign mode now, like, only the Tories can deliver a brighter future. I don't think they can. I don't think, here's what I think will happen if I look back at their past behaviour and predict the future. Here's what I think the brighter future holds with another Conservative government. I think a load of donors will meet up with CCHQ at breakfast clubs and gala dinners, and I think they'll cut them cheques and fund the Conservative Party, and then in return for that, I think the Conservative Party will legislate and regulate those industries in the interest of those donors. And while people like me are ringing the warning bells, they'll be like, yeah, but look at the dinghies though.